Joe Rogan's being called out by Indigenous Australians and activists all over the country after he allegedly laughed at something he shouldn't have. Joe recently had Andrew Wilson on his show, and Andrew showed him a video called "Don't Sniff Petrol from a Can." You probably know it. Here it is.
Yes. You don't sniff petrol from a can. You put your petrol in the car, it stays. It's messing with your brain.
On a recent podcast, he had Andrew Wilson on, and Andrew Wilson brought up a particular health initiative trying to stop Aboriginal kids sniffing petrol. If you didn't know, in Australia, Aboriginal children sniffing petrol is apparently a big problem. And I say apparently because we don't really hear too much about it anymore, which is probably a really good thing. But it is an issue, particularly in remote communities. And I'm talking about communities that are so far removed from normal Australia. And I say that with respect, right? These communities out in the middle of the bush, like whoever lives there, white, black, or in the middle, it is wildly different to what regular Australia is like. And in those communities, they do seem to have problems with alcoholism, drug abuse, violence, and a lot of other different issues for all people of all races. But there is a video going around, I'm sure a lot of Australians have seen it, and I'm sure a lot of Australians have laughed at it, called Rumba Rumba. And it basically has the chorus, "You don't sniff petrol from a can."
Sister, show me brother, and we stay strong for one another. Come on, come on, come on, come on, yeah! Come on, come on. We gonna lead us over the islands. You don't sniff petrol from a can.
It's a rough one because when you learn more and more about it, this is why you don't explain jokes, right? The first time you see that, you go, what the fuck? Because all you see is a really quick clip. So I've just watched the start of the Rama Rama video, and it's got all these beautiful kids. They're doing all this type of stuff. They're making music, they're singing, and all this type of shit, having a lovely time. And they're talking about something that is genuinely horrific in their community. But when you're from the outside looking in, it is fucking funny to see something so outrageous, so left field. And that's probably why people find it funny, because it comes out of nowhere. There's just a song that looks like it's been made by the government where they're like, hey, we got to stop kids sniffing petrol. So the only way to do it is make a song about it. Like that sounds absolutely ridiculous. And I remember I laughed at it the first time, probably the 10th time I saw it. I thought that's fucking just ridiculous. The more you look into it though, it becomes less ridiculous, it becomes less funny, and that's what happens when you have to explain jokes or you have to go into detail about jokes. But anyway, now before we go any further, I just found something very interesting. I just found out something pretty wild about stem cells, and today's sponsor, Black Forest Supplements, well, they've got something very important that I'd like you to hear about.
I had a full-length rotator cuff tear, and the UFC gave me a doctor in Los Angeles, and he looks at my MRI and goes, you're gonna need surgery. I go, 100%? He goes, I don't know how you're using it now. It's a matter of time. You're gonna need surgery, so it might be better to do it now. So I got it shot up with stem cells. And this was the early days of stem cells in America where you could get away with more. That you got to go to Mexico now again.
Stem cells are very interesting. You probably heard people like Joe Rogan talk about them, how they treat injuries, and throughout the world, a lot of people are struggling to get access to it. Now, flying overseas and using tens of thousands of your saved up bloody dollars is not something a lot of people can do.
So, studies have been done to show that the flavonols in cocoa stimulate stem cells to come out of your bone marrow like bees in a beehive in your bloodstream, and they go out and they find wherever it needs to be repaired. If it's in your heart, they'll fix it. If it's in your liver, they'll fix it.
But here's what caught my attention. Scientists have been researching cocoa and the flavonols contained within it. And what they've found between the relationship between the cocoa flavonols and the circulating stem cells and cardiovascular health is fascinating. And no, we're really talking about cocoa here. The problem is when they produce cocoa and chocolate-like products, they actually lose a lot of the cocoa flavonols that are really beneficial for stem cells. And that's why I've been using Black Forest high flavonol cocoa powder. It's only 20 calories, there's no added sugar, and it tastes fantastic. You just throw it in your protein shake or in your coffee and you're good to go. And for 48 hours, they've given you a fantastic deal. Buy one, get one free. That's across the store, plus a free bottle of NMN. So essentially you're getting 3 items for the price of 1. That's a great deal. But here's the thing, that deal disappears within the next 48 hours, so you have to act fast. Go and check out the link down below. And thank you very much to Black Forest Supplements for sponsoring this video. So Rogan had Andrew Wilson on, and this is how he's a podcaster, he's a YouTube guy. This is how he prefaced what the video was about.
Have you ever seen the Petrol song?
The Petrol song?
Oh, man. What I'm about to show you is going to make you laugh to death. There's a song which was made by the Australian government for the Aboriginals about how you shouldn't drink or sniff petrol, gasoline, from a can. I'm not kidding. You can pull it up right now. It's the gasoline song, right? Oh, no. It is the... You just be prepared. You're going to laugh yourself to death.
So it turns out that the song's actually not made by the government. It's made by someone else. But go on.
Don't Be Rama Rama by Warburton. Is this it? Put the headphones on.
Yeah.
No sniff. Don't sniff. Yeah. Oh, step on the bottle.
Together, look at us, we can stay forever. Show me sister, show me brother, and we stay strong for one another. Come on, come on, come on, come on, yeah! Come on, come on. We couldn't lead us over the lines. You don't sniff petrol.
It is saying that out. It's so outrageous. It's so ridiculous. That's what makes people laugh, because it's just so insane.
You put your petrol in the car, it stays. It's messing with your brains. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Oh my.
Pretty good though, to be honest.
Catchy song.
Yeah, catchy song. Yeah.
Very catchy. Jesus Christ.
So that-
imagine you have that, and you think you're going to fix that problem with a catchy song?
No.
That is my thoughts exactly. The fact that people think that a song's going to fix this. There is so much deeply ingrained pain in people. There is so much deeply unavoidable trajectory of their lives, it feels like, for people who particularly are out in communities out in the middle of nowhere. Like they feel like they literally have nothing to live for, and that's why they see, like, what's the point? What's the point of trying to live your life, clean, away from certain, and if it wasn't petrol, for these kids, it would be like people who are living in gross poverty or whatever it happens to be in bad areas in other parts of the world, whether it's fentanyl, whether it's crack, whether it's whatever. These kids will be falling down those sort of holes, unfortunately. And to help them, a catchy song is going to do fuck all. And I think that's another reason why people are laughing. They go, this isn't going to fucking help at all. Can I point out too, Rogan didn't laugh at it. So when you go to the Daily Mail, who says Joe Rogan called out for laughing at Indigenous health video, he didn't laugh at it at all. He laughed at the end when his producer Jamie said, catchy song, and he goes, yeah, catchy. That was it. So let's see what he has to say about that.
They have huge problems. He tells me stories about it all the time. He sent that over. He said this song exists. No, it doesn't. No way. Sends it over. And oh my God. It does exist. It's a real thing.
And I think the song itself was probably made by the community for that community with all their families and all that type of stuff involved. So that was probably the only reason. Like they only really made it just to show it an event or whatever. And then it went, sort of viral.
It's such a problem for them.
God, that's dark.
Yeah, it's brutal. And that's a sort of addiction.
Listen to Rogan. He's saying how dark that is. Dude, this is not, having a crack at Joe for allegedly laughing is such a fucking lie. The Daily Mail and all the other news fucking propaganda sites that I found this morning when I heard all this shit. American podcast host Joe Rogan has been criticised after he made fun of a song written by Indigenous Australians to raise awareness about substance abuse. But he didn't, did he? No. During a discussion with American commentator Andrew Wilson, Rogan, 59, why do they put people's age? I don't get that. Like, would it be important if he was 33? The track, which the pair played a snippet of during the episode, was created by an educational group that run by rock musician Adam Thompson. Muso Magic and Outback Tracks. Their laughter at the song prompted harsh criticism from Tony Shaw, the director of Indigenous Services Australia. Watching grown men sit in a studio thousands of kilometres away, completely ignorant of the context, laughing at those children and their efforts to turn it into a joke was a disgrace, Mr. Shaw told news.com.au. So when did they do that? Don't get me wrong, have the shits at Andrew Wilson, he was laughing at it. Have the shits with anyone else who was laughing at it. But Joe genuinely didn't. I know I'm a Joe Rogan dick rider. I have been for fucking a decade. But he didn't. Joe, perhaps before you ridicule something like this, it would be worth finding out what you're actually watching. You have an enormous audience. You could have taken 5 minutes to learn the story behind what you're watching. Instead, you chose to mock it. If you watched the whole clip, Mr. Shaw, whoever you are, you probably would understand that Rogan is listening to what everyone is saying, and there is an epidemic of people using this sort of substance to try and get some sort of high or try to escape from the reality that they're currently living in. And it is a drastic issue for Aboriginal kids that in these remote communities, they feel so helpless. And I don't know what the answer is. And I don't know how they feel. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm privileged, right? Maybe I'm a little bit privileged. And I think I'm privileged because I live outside of those communities. And I think anyone, regardless of your skin color, is privileged to live outside of those communities, because regardless of what your skin color is in those communities, you are in for a different life to the people who live outside of them. There's a lot of issues for Aboriginal kids, a lot of issues for all kids, but the Aboriginal kids, obviously, they face different issues to some other children, and that is unfortunate. Whether or not, it's built off racism, I think, yes, some of it is. And I think when we only focus on trying to cure racism, I think it's a waste of time, because everyone you're speaking to already agrees that racism is bad and it's not going to get you anywhere. You need to start looking at what are the parents doing in these situations? Why are they having these children and they're not helping them through life? What can be done for those people? Right? What's happening in these communities? What sort of efforts and what sort of special help can we get out to these people? What can we do to try and make sure that the next generation of kids who grow up in these areas can actually benefit from what we can do as a country? It says here that petrol sniffing was a serious issue in remote regions during the 2000s, but community initiatives and the introduction of low aromatic opal fuel, so less smelling fuel, have significantly reduced its prevalence. I understand that these are problems, but let's look at the reason as to why kids or anyone is turning to sniffing petrol. Okay, you're never going to eradicate kids doing stupid shit. And this is the thing, it's not just kids, it's adults too. They're sniffing petrol too. I think it's fantastic that apparently it's not as much of an issue anymore. But what can we actually do? I don't fucking know. Maybe you have the answer yourself. But what we shouldn't be doing is going out there and taking someone like a Rogan and going, you're the problem because you laughed at it, even though he fucking didn't. We should be taking the opportunity of people speaking about it on the world's biggest podcast to go, hey, what are we actually doing for those kids? What are we helping with? Or are we just ignoring them? Are we ignoring the fact that they exist out there? Are we just getting on with our lives? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Be a good motherfucker. Come and see me live. I'm all over the country right now. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Big stinks. Toodle au revoir. Bye-bye.